activities when it comes to food produce from start to finish. Talk about the value chain from scratch to the table of every single Lagosian. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Lagos Farmer here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. My name is Taiwo Barua. And as usual, I am not alone on the show this afternoon. I have Abimbola Shakiro Majalagwe very much with me in the studio. Good afternoon to you.
Lagos, to all our viewers and lovers of Traffic Radio as well as Lagos Farmer. It's nice to be here again.
Good.
Okay, good, Taiwo.
I'm very well, thank you. That's it. What was the weather like yesterday? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Somebody said it came with vengeance.
Honestly, but we still have to expect more.
More, right?
Yes,
Okay.
We're bracing for more rain.
Absolutely. So probably we'll be tilting part of the conversation towards the rainfall today because it is what every farmer looks forward to. All right. This is Lagos Farmer. You can also be a part of the discussion this afternoon. Lagos is Nigeria's leading coconut producer, contributing roughly 70% of the national output. The industry is a major economic pillar, especially in coastal areas like Badagry, which hosts the largest coconut plantation establishment in the country. On the program this afternoon, our focus is certainly going to be focusing on coconut production. And I have with us in the studio, or we have with us in the studio this afternoon, Olajumoke Ola. She is the General Manager, Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, an agency under the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, it's good to have you in
the big
studio.
Fish in the house.
The big fish, right?
Women of substance. Women are doing amazingly well.
Absolutely. When you see women of substance, you kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say that this is how they are. They can be quite quiet, and you just be wondering.
They're full of what's substance.
Yes,
game changers.
Game changers, apparently. But hey, Bimbola, I don't know what you think, but you and I listen to talk a lot. I mean, don't you belong to that category?
Of course. We're catching up. We're
catching up, right? We'll get there. All right, let's focus on the conversation this morning. Talk to us. Lagos is often referred to as coconut capital of Nigeria, accounting for over 60% of national production. Beyond heritage, how is LSADA positioning the coconut as a primary driver of state agricultural and food system strategy for 2026?
So once more, I want to say thank you for having me and for having us talk about coconut. Coconut has always been part of Lagos State. You'll see it in the coat of arms. It has always been, it's there. When you look at the coat of arms, you find coconut strategically positioned. So it has always been there. It has almost always been part of the agric and in recent times, the food systems space.
Yes.
So how are we positioning it? For us, coconut has been there for a while. And by nature, coconut is strategically suitable, for the food systems transformation in Lagos State. One, the areas where coconuts would ordinarily do very well.
Yes.
Other crops will not do so well there. So the coastal area, then even most of the terrains in Lagos will support coconut growth. So how are we actually positioning it to be a driver? In recent times, we have done some levels of research. Okay, so we have identified some gaps. So having identified those gaps, we look at what the necessary solutions would be. So having said that, for you to be able to make effective changes, to address the gaps, the best way to go about it is to first of all look at your leverage points.
Okay.
Yes, you don't just you want to do something, you look at the lowest hanging fruits.
Yes.
Yes. So for Lagos State for coconut to drive food systems transformation, we are looking at working with the communities. Now, everywhere that you find coconuts,
yes,
there must be a community there. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the riverine community, okay, whether it's the coastal community, okay, whether it's even the upland areas, anywhere you find it, it is usually in a community. So having said that, we have had so many interactions with so many agencies, international agencies, and so many other agencies like that. So having said that, we looked at the fact that because coconut is always in a community, the system we are using now, because in the past, it's not like the coconut is not there, but it is just there. People see it as a national cake. It's just there, and people just don't pay so much attention.
Okay, so for Lagos State government to pay so much attention to coconut, so much that we have a whole agency saddled with the responsibility of managing coconut. Talk to me, aside from human consumption, what other ways can one actually utilize coconut?
Okay, so many other ways. You can use it in the areas of wealth creation, waste to wealth, or you can even call it waste to value.
Talk to me. I really need to know more about that.
Yes. Now, usually in the past, what you would have is people just eat coconut.
Sure.
They eat coconut, they throw away the shell.
Absolutely.
They throw away the water. They throw away the husk. They throw away virtually everything that is around coconut. But now, coconut is beyond that. You have, like, for example, in the coconut itself, you use the shell in art and craft. Predominantly now, people use it in art and craft. Then in environment, you get it. The husk can be used to make charcoal, activated carbon, which is used to filter water. It's used to filter water. Then also you have biochar. These are things that ordinarily you would see as a waste. You use it on the soil. Okay. You get it. Usually, because of our terrain, our soils are usually acidic. You get it. So we use biochar. That is you burn coconut. So the ash is used, on our soil. So we do that. Then apart from that, there are quite a number of other things that we waste in the past. You are talking of cocoa pit. Those things are made from the shell of coconuts. They are made from the fibers. You get it? So in Lagos, for example, there is a lot of space that we have now that don't have the opportunity of having soil to put their plants. You get it? So they use more of the fibers that is normally thrown away. Yeah, to grow crops on your corridors, in your gardens, anywhere around you. So it's basically a soilless kind of thing that ensures that coconut is not put to waste. Yes, that is for the coconut. Of course, in the past too, water is usually just wasted. You just see people, they just break it and all of that. But in recent times, there's a lot of emphasis placed on use of coconut water. So people are now bottling it. They are doing all sorts of, things that were not done in the past. So on the issue of waste, on the fronts, that is the palm fronts.
Yes.
Usually, of course, but now you use it to make quite a number of things. Roof material, wall decors, and all of
so
that.
On.
So
okay, I can see that LSADA has really positioned itself in the limelight, and I know that in time past you also had a lot of engagement, especially with the food and organization, agric organization. So in this, you've mentioned a lot, because I know coconut is a valuable crop, and only if we know how to harness, and we know Lagos State is really having that comparative advantage. How do you intend to bring on board other value chain actors, investors, to actually look at this? Each stage of this value chain you've talked about is about scaling up. How do you intend to do that in collaboration with the community of farmers that you've grown in Lagos State?
When you are talking about scaling up, like I said earlier on, a gap has been identified.
Yes.
So how are we looking at scaling up? In the past, communities, they have always seen interventions as national cake. So at the end of the day, you find out that you just give things to the community, and because they don't have that level of commitment, you just leave it there. And it's not managed, it's not, you are not even just getting there. So what we are looking at doing now is that, it's a system that the Ministry of Agric is also doing now. We have identified the fact that when you don't put in something, you don't get to place a lot of value on it. So what we have done
from the farmer's end,
or even from any end.
Okay.
If you don't have any level of commitment, it becomes, you just take it as you are not that serious about it. So we have gone around some communities. We have identified some communities, and we are making them realize that they would have to put in something. It may be in kind, it may be in any other form, but they are aware that they will have to have a level of commitment. In those communities, we have been discussing with them, and we are looking at entering into a kind of agreement with them where they know that, okay, it's not business as usual, because that is what is actually affecting. It's not like we are going to create more land. The land is what it is. But it's the production that comes from those land that is really the problem. So most of those communities before now, you have some of their trees, contributing as little as 30% of the potential from each tree crop.
Yeah.
You get it? So we want to get them that, we want to get them that involved, so that, we can look at it, together. Having said that, I want to take us to the question she just asked about FAO, about our interaction with them. Our interaction with them, we had a 5 points. You get it? As it is, the very first outcome is for us to involve them so that we are co-investors.
Okay.
So that is where we are now with them.
Climate change is one major thing every, serious government is focusing on now, in terms of protecting the citizens. And coconut tree appears to be an eco-friendly kind of tree. How is LSADA leveraging on this, in terms of having more coconut trees planted across the metropolis in a densely populated city like Lagos?
Okay, fine. In a densely populated city like Lagos, we know so well the role that coconut plays in the environment. It's a source of carbon credit. So in Lagos, we are looking at everything possible. One of them is one of the initiatives that we have. Of course, it's an initiative that we are looking at in the next, it will span in the next 10 years, 5 years, 10 years. We are looking at growing 10 million coconut trees, So how do we intend to do it? You will find out that in Lagos, we still have schools that have space for coconut. So we are already working with schools. As it is, as at last year, in the past 6 months, we are beginning to work with some schools that have space. So we are planting coconut seedlings there. So then we're also looking at this initiative, a house, a coconut tree. Where there is that space. If you're able to have 1.5 meter space between your fence and
the building,
yes, you can put a coconut tree there.
So let's make this clear now. Why is that? Why do you need that space? Because a lot of people do not understand, the essence of having that much space.
Yes, the essence of that space is that coconut is a tree crop. It needs enough space to be able to...
For the roots.
Yeah, for the roots. It needs that space for the roots. It needs to be, and even to stretch its hands. You get it? Because the photosynthesis and everything that comes, the food for the plants also comes from the sun. So you will still need, that space. And even again, for your wall, you will need that space so that apart from the roots, you don't want to plant your coconut and then the next 6 months,
it's
7 months. Yes.
Let me find out from you.
Yeah.
In time past, we have the African tall, and then we have the hybrid coconut. In the kind of densely populated places like Lagos, what do you advise? Are we still having the hybrid or the African tall? Which one do you advise people to plant?
Well, in Lagos, it depends on how much space you have. True, it's densely populated, and what your interest really is. If you have space, and like the schools that we're talking about,
okay,
and you can grow. See, it depends on, like I said, it depends on what you have in mind. But what do I advise?
Yeah,
okay, I would advise that you go for either hybrid or dwarf.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. Number one, the tall gets that tall and you can't control,
yes,
where the fruit drops. But the hybrid and the dwarf. They take quite a number of years. They take a number of years before it gets tall. So there's no risk of the nuts easily falling and probably falling on your car or and all of that. Then apart from that, there are the hybrid and the dwarf. You can use it to line the road if you have enough space.
Yes.
In the median,
yes,
you can use it. So there's no fear of, there's a wind and the knot falls off and it falls off on the screen or it falls off on somebody's head somewhere.
So as a potential coconut farmer now, if I want to plant a seedling now, how can I spot the dwarf one or the hybrid? Because obviously I want to avoid the very tall one.
Okay. The tall one, I don't know if you can identify it. You have to know the different sizes
yes.
of
and the shape.
The nuts. You have to really, really know it. So telling you that the one that is big, that the one that is big is this, is that, would confuse you.
Okay.
Would confuse you.
Okay.
But if you are planting from the nut. But if you are planting from the seedling, I'm not sure you can tell, but you can tell. Like the dwarf seedlings, we have them in 3 different varieties.
Okay.
You have the orange, you have the green, and you have the yellow. So if you are in that space, and you are looking at the stem of the seedling,
yes,
if it's more like yellow, you know it's dwarf, but maybe it's the orange type.
Okay.
Or is the green type, or is the yellow type, or whatever. But you may mix the hybrid. The hybrid and the green type of the dwarf looks alike. They look very much alike. So if you want to get it right, the best thing is you come to the experts. I can't.
We're running out of time, and I would like you to address this question before we begin to wrap things up on the show this afternoon. Having the Ministry of Agric and Food Systems, I understand that the Lagos State government is trying to ensure food security for Lagosians. But then, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Are we considering export in the future, perhaps by the time we get it right, in terms of securing enough for Lagosians?
Of course, yes. Export is very much on the table. As I speak, there's a lot of export going on in the coconut space. The art and craft space, you have a lot of export going on there. In the even the coconut product, there's a lot going on, to the extent that last year, 2 years ago, coconut facilitated certificates, export certificates, for 4 of our stakeholders. So they are into active export as we speak, and others have already shown interest in wanting that certification too. Of course, if you are taking your product to other advanced economies, you need to have international certification. So it is there. We are already supporting some stakeholders, and it is still on the table.
How long does it take coconut to grow and produce fruit?
Okay, from
from the point that you plant, either from a seedling or from whatever.
Or from the seed. Okay, fine. It will take about 5-6 months to sprout.
Okay.
And all of that. Now, for it to start flowering and fruiting, you would have like 3 years, about 3 years, 3.5 for hybrid, for dwarf. For hybrid, 4, 3.5 thereabout. For dwarf, for tall, you would have like 5 years. So no, really, but it all depends on what you want to do, what you actually want to do. If your focus is for you to eventually be able to go into art and craft world, you'll be getting the tall, whether it takes a longer time or not, because you need the shell. The shells are stronger. Yes. So if your target is water or meat, you're either looking at hybrid or dwarf. So irrespective of the gestation period, what you have in mind, your commercial purpose for planting it is what will determine what you are buying.
All right. I want to say a very big thank you to you. We can go on and on with this conversation this afternoon, but then thank you so much for being a part of the program. All right. This is where we get to wrap things up on today's edition of Lagos Farmer. And I hope that you learned a thing or two, because I actually did learn. I learned a whole lot on the program this afternoon. Maximum thanks to Olajumoke, the General Manager, Lagos State Coconut Development Authority. Thank you so much for coming on the program, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
All right, this is where we wrap things up. This program has been brought to you by the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. We also have in the studio with us this afternoon, Modupe Olua Opayemi. She is the PAO at LSADA. Thank you so much for being a part of the program also. All right. Maximum thanks to Daniel Downsey of our social media unit. Big ups to Victor Terry. I have done this with
Abimbola Shakira Majalagbe.
And
let's do this next week by God's grace.
My name is Taiwo Barowa. See you next week.
Thank you.